I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Below Deck Sailing Yacht. This is season 1, episode 15. You snooze, you lose. I'm your host, Tequila Friend, and you know, the guys were calling, so I had to come on back to the show. But I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
We did.
Yes, it's been amazing. This little break, quarantine got me inside, but now I'm like, we got so many things to talk about, and I couldn't just, y'all were having too much fun without me. So
we were.
I'm so glad to be joined or reconnected with some of my fellow co-hosts. One, we have Amir, who puts the yas in Yasai Bowl. Yes. And we also have Nate Harris, who's usually hairless,
But we in quarantine, and I can't find my barber, so I am ugly. And don't judge me, because I'm judging all y'all though.
You know what?
Nate, you look great.
We all making it work. Yes, we all got a little hair changes. I got a little quarantine inches, but
yes, I know. I see that wig. We see each other.
You see it. Yes. Today we're going to talk about so much stuff with Below Deck. This episode was crazy. It's such a culmination of so many things happening. We'll delve into Adam thinking he's the problem in relationships. The fact that everyone kind of sees that Georgia and Paget may be a thing, except perhaps Georgia and Paget, and really delving into Jenna and Madison and everything that really went down in this boat because of Jenna, I would have to say. After dealing with all that, we go right into the news and reports, and we got some good, juicy news to share with you guys today, and bringing back the beloved segment that these boys really started really above deck. So we'll talk about who we believe is kind of, rising to the occasion. But first, let's go into overall thoughts. What did you guys think?
Go ahead, Nate. What do you think?
It was kind of a boring episode, but yes, Adam and Jenna, this whole thing, I am over it. It's one of those situations where you have one of your friends that keeps coming to you and trying to tell you things, and you just get to a point where it's like, look, I don't even want to hear about it. Do what you want to do, because it's going to end in disaster. I'm over them. I'm over talking about it, but we're going to talk about it today. And I'm glad Jenna finally got checked by Clap and Gwen. I'm so glad. But of course, Madison, she took the high road today, and she actually tried to protect Jenna. Like, oh, she's just such a perfect person. But overall, I'm excited to talk about it all.
It was a fun episode. I agree with Nate. It was a little slow as far as like what was happening as far as drama goes. But I love these guests, and they just bring such a perspective that we kind of all need to hear in quarantine as well. Like, the privilege of being healthy, the privilege of being somewhere safe, having food on your table. It just kind of reminds me, because a lot of my daily struggles involve like my anger at my TikTok videos not getting a lot of views, or like the TV internet not working, like stuff that isn't important. So they really help me to kind of get back to what's important. We're healthy, we're happy, we're moving forward. So I'm excited to talk about this episode.
Yeah, same. I echo all what you're saying about the guests. And I think that's probably why this episode was a little dry, because the guests were actually normal. They were just people. We don't want to talk anything bad about Carrie. Carrie and her crew is just amazing. They brought gifts, PJs, silk PJs for the yacht crew. I'm like, this is you can't get any better than that, and left a good healthy tip for them. So I think it was awesome. But even though Nate, you mentioned, this whole Adam Jenna situation is getting so, overdone, we got to talk about it, because there's just so much that happened this episode in particular, because I think this is the first episode that they just gave no regard to the fact that they are on the clock. So what do you think about, Adam first saying that, he's the issue in the relationships, and just Adam across this whole episode overall?
I'm proud of Adam. I am so proud of Adam. I know I used to hate Adam, and he's still toxic, and he's still Adam, but I am so proud of Adam. The first thing that you need to do for change is acknowledge that you have an issue. Now, it's not even like him acknowledging like he has some crazy issue, but he's acknowledging like the reason why my relationships aren't working is because of me. And he knows exactly why. It's because of this reason, which they aren't really negative reasons, but there's things that he may have dealt with while he was a child that he doesn't understand or even knows affecting him. Again, he understands that he travels a lot. He knows he has emotional problems of showing them. So he understands these things. So it may take him another 5 years to get it and transform and change. It may take him a year, but he has acknowledged it. A lot of people, they don't acknowledge it, and they're like, I don't know why my relationship don't work. It's always the other person, and they never can acknowledge and grow. So on that, I love you for that, Adam. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I think the thing is, though, I'm going to be a little devil's advocate because I'm like, I know that he's totally acknowledged it. That's amazing. But I think from the first time we stepped foot on Sailing Yacht and really embarked on this, and even before then in past seasons, he's always acknowledged it. But I think there's a danger and there's a problem in staying in that state of acknowledgement. And I think that's just what he's doing. He's like, I know I'm the issue. I know I'm a problem. This is who I am. And that's it's great. Own it. But he's not really trying to say, and I want to be better because of this, Y, and Z, and this is how I'm going to be better. So I feel like he's just, stuck in that state of, listen, like, this is who I am, get with the program or get gone. And Jenna really seems to be that type that's, she sees the potential, but she wants to be Bob the Builder and build this man who's telling her, this is who I am and this is what I'm going to be. And, she doesn't want to think that she potentially deserves better in that regard.
Absolutely. I echo that as well, Akila, because I think there's a lot that goes into Jenna's like mindset with this guy. And it's like, he said it from day one. I want to get in a van and I want to drive off. Like, he's always said that. So I agree with Nate in the fact that he hasn't really swayed too much from what he originally said. And we had a comment from last week. Tanya Featherstone said, I don't care for Adam or Jenna. So those are some fighting words and I'm here for it. And we have Jean Wellsome in the chat, and she's actually watching our after show without having seen the episode. So we love you, Jean Wellsome. Wow. So thank you for your comments. And she says, Adam is a loner when he's not on a boat, which is really well said. He will cook in his van. He'll drive around the US. So Adam is being true to who he is. And Jenna is, like me, the president of He Will Change Club. And he will not change. He will not change. This man's not going to change. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think this man's going to change too much. So.
I don't know. Not enough episodes in the season, child. But it's happening. It's happening. And yet we see in this episode that, Jenna takes this half-hour nap with Adam. Let's delve into what really happened on this episode. So we see the fact that Madison and Jenna at the end had some sort of issue, but it really built up from the beginning how Jenna was kind of, taking her boss title and using it loosely. Like, what did you think about Jenna this episode, what she did, and, how she is potentially wants to combat Captain Glenn for it?
Jenna, I love you. You are a great person. You are not a bad person at all. But Jenna is the biggest hypocrite in the world. Oh my gosh.
I cannot the biggest believe, butt ever. You're a good
I cannot believe that she was really sleeping on the job. And Adam, I was like literally in shock. Are you serious, Jenna? Everything that you complained about all this time and you're sleeping with Adam in his bed. But again, this goes back to this toxicity. Like, you guys, this is not right. You guys should not be together. You guys should not be working together. You guys know this isn't gonna right, but you guys are trying to force this. When you guys have these talks at night and it gets all heated and you guys might break up, just break up. Period. Let it go. Like, Jenna, I know you wanted to work. Adam, I know that you're on that boat. So when she says, let's try, you're like, all right, forget it. Let's try again. And you're just going to try again, but then you guys are going to fight again. But now you're affecting the work and everyone else. So once you start affecting other people, that's when I draw the line. So Jenna, I'm mad at you. And Adam too.
I get that.
I mean, Nate, do you think though it has something to do with the fact that they're on such small quarters? Let's say you wanted to break up with someone, but you lived like within 3 feet of them. It would be really hard, right? Because you kind of don't know how Jenna's going to react. Like, I don't know. I feel like Adam's in it because he doesn't want to piss her off.
No, I completely agree with that. And I understand where they are at. I understand why Adam keeps going back and why Jenna is still there. I understand when people are in relationships and you're not supposed to be in that relationship, but you keep going back. It's just our own, like, so I understand it. I'm not judging them for that, but it's like, we know signs. We know when we're supposed to leave situations. We just choose not to. So I'm just here to say, this is one of those situations where you guys know this is not going to work. I understand the emotions are flying, and so you're just in the moment, but just walk away.
Agreed. Good advice.
I loved how, Georgia wanted to put in her 2 cents and then Jenna was kind of like, listen, you will never know Adam the way I know Adam, like, back away from this. And then a little later was saying, on her confessionals, like, this is her time where she deserves to be selfish. And I'm like, I agree with that. If you want to be selfish with, your relationship and doing what feels right to you, that's fine. But I'm like, you're doing that while the charter is in session. That is my only thing with that. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
I have something to say about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, were you gonna finish? I didn't mean to
No, I was just gonna make a plug that, obviously, Amir called out some of the different folks who chatted or commented on episodes in the previous ones that we've done. Like, keep it up. We'll call you out in these episodes, and comment and subscribe to AfterBuzz, where you'll keep up to date with us when it comes to all things below deck. So.
Yes.
Yes, we love friends.
You all are savage too. They are savage with their comments.
They are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so fun to go on Twitter and listen to everything that they have to say and all their opinions. It's so fun. And you guys need to stop being mean too. I know sometimes I'm mean to Jenna, but stop being mean to people on this show, okay? But I did want to say though about Georgia, this is why we always need to stay out of people's situations. And I don't blame Georgia because, again, it's just the hearts in us. And like, we want to protect our friends because we're watching from an external view. But that's why you need to stay away, because no matter what you say, like, even when you do go ask for advice, and Jenna was asking for advice, no one really knows what goes on. And so the way that she said that, I understood her. Like, no one really knows what truly goes on into relationships. You can tell the story and explain what's going on, but like, no one really knows. And so Georgia trying to step in, I don't blame her for it, but I can understand Jenna's frustration. But I also saw that the way that she walked out the second time shows that Jenna knows that Georgia is right, but she just doesn't want to hear it.
Doesn't want to hear it.
She knows that everything you're going to tell me, this is the perfect advice, the right advice. I don't want to hear it. So shut the hell up. I don't want to.
Holler at me in 2 years when I'm finally fed up.
Yes. It is so hard to speak up. It's hard to speak up. I think I feel for Georgia, but it's also hard to receive that advice. Everyone knows when they're dating a dead end relationship, but you want to prove it to yourself. You're like, I'm going to change this man. And 9 times out of 10, you don't, unfortunately. Like, you don't. You don't. So, yeah.
It's like, Adam, please. No. First of all, if I was trying to be like, listen, I know your relationship. I'm basically in it because it's in front of me every moment of every day. So,
Absolutely.
I'm just commenting on our shared man at this point. So,
absolutely.
This is just what it is.
Akila, it's also another thing is, this is just a friendly side note advice. Never date a chef. So I dated someone who was a chef, and a person that can cook can really mess with your mind. You're like, this person sucks. And then you eat the jambalaya and you're like, holy shit. So you got to really watch out for those chefs.
Gotta watch it. That is so real. That is so real. I mean, and the other thing that we really noticed here, well, I feel like we should touch on the fact that Chris is still wanting to pursue Georgia, but, Georgia and Paget's energy are still, on 1,000. They go and have this beach lunch and day with some of the guests, and they sing them a song and everything happens. Like, what do you think one of Chris and his like impeccable work ethic to a fault maybe and Georgia and Paget?
I love Chris. I love his whole vibe that he has to him. Laid back, he has little jokes to him. He doesn't take life too serious. I love him. But Georgia's not into him. And I feel like it's clear as day. Georgia does not want him. And I feel bad for you, man. But I'm starting to like Georgia more. Like, I don't want Georgia like I want my baby Madison. But Georgia, like, everybody is fighting over Georgia. Got me wanting to fight over Georgia, too.
Right.
But I am liking to see the Paget, like, kind of being jealous when Chris is asking questions and I'm talking about it. So I like it. But, yeah, it's clear that. And even Georgia saying that she clearly has more feelings for Paget. Like, it's clear as day. It's no question. She's just like, I've never met somebody like him. But again, like Amir always says, close quarters. So she might be just fantasizing. She might be just the best on the boat.
A little bit of it, and Madison said this as well, it's a little bit of like Stockholm syndrome. You're kind of on a boat with these people and you're just like with them for such a long time and you have the cameras in your face. And it can get a little weird. And Chris even said, Chris is really cool because when I did my live with him, he was talking about how he was on a boat with Stephen Colbert across the Atlantic. Like, he's like friends with Stephen Colbert. He has like he's a cool dude. Like, and like Akila said, like his arm got ripped off by a shark and he's like, how can I like, it's like, what's going on? Like, I have never, if I hurt my back, I would not be like fully doing stuff.
No, this man literally went up a pole. I don't even know what they call this. Like
what was he doing? I was like, hello? And like,
he's like, hey, I can die from this, but hey, I already broke my back.
Right.
What's life?
Right. Whatever. I'm gonna go up this 100-foot pole. And like, listen, in homage to Chris, I did a TikTok me voicing that. So I'm here for Chris and I feel him. But to go to Georgia, like, I know that when I spoke to Georgia as well, she said, like, I wasn't trying to come for anyone's man. I just started to really develop a friendship, and that friendship became something more. And she doesn't know what it is. And I think that it's very clear that Paget is a little bit territorial about her. Like, if you're not into her and you have a girlfriend, like, let her go off with Chris and get her fish spa or whatever they were doing, which was not romantic. I was like, Chris, sweetie, if you're trying to get a girl that looks like Georgia, who can sing like an angel, I don't think the fish spa was the right choice. But that's
right.
What do I know? What do I know? But I like them. I like them together, but it's like, I don't know. Like, she's looking for a man and Paget is the man. So
I don't see it at all, at all. And Georgia did, I'm just thinking when I watch these episodes, like, just thinking back to our conversation with Sierra and Paget, and just like, Sierra must be cringing. I know at the end of the day, like, yes, this is my man. Like, I'm secure in my relationship. That's amazing. But just to hear someone that you work with, potentially you're going to do another season with, who knows, saying all these things, saying like, I've never found somebody that's so endearing, and it's really like amazing to be with this guy or whatever. I'm just like, Georgia, you're getting bolder and bolder.
I know. I'm just like,
but it's like, oh no, this is not the time. This is not the time.
Well,
it's a little cringe.
Would you guys want to be with, like, take Paget's flirtiness away? Like, they say Paget wasn't flirting. How would you guys feel if she was talking about him? Like, if you were Sierra and someone was talking about your man in such a great light, like, why don't we get so excited? Like, ooh, people want my man, but we just get jealous.
To an extent, at one point it'd be like, okay, I'm glad you see what I see, but close your eyes now. You've seen it,
it's enough.
It's happened. That's enough.
It's enough. Listen, we know how expensive this boat is, and listen, you don't mess with the Middle Eastern Gemini. I will sink the $1 million boat. So I will sink that boat. So you better watch out. I will take all the food off. Listen, I love to eat, and then I will sink the boat. So I don't know. I think it's a hard situation, because there was a joke that they even did last week on their Twitters where they were dressed the same when they went out. Ciara was dressed like Georgia. In my head, I'm like, I love Ciara, but in my head, I'm like, did you dress like her just to kind of confuse your man? Was it like, he won't know the difference if we both wear denim shirts? Like, I'm like, I feel for her. I don't know. She's so nice. And I'm like, it's like they're so bold about it that there's no way she's not getting and seeing what we're seeing.
And seeing what we're seeing. Especially if the guests were like, oh, there's definitely chemistry between them. Chris said there's chemistry. I'm like...
Did you guys notice when she said the pajamas on the floor comment?
No, what happened?
What? You guys didn't notice that, huh? I didn't think I noticed it. And don't quote me on this, but I could have sworn when they were putting their pajamas on, Paget and Georgia had a small little interaction. We barely could hear it. But he said, where those would look better on? And she said, what? And Paget said, on my floor. Or Georgia said, where on your floor?
No.
This happened.
I'm like that. I'm like, get out. No.
We can't.
No.
Our show's canceled.
I'm 93.5%.
Cut it out. Okay, guys. I mean, you guys are listening and watching. Let us know if that's what happened.
Let me know.
Because
oh my God.
That is... Nate,
I'm
you may have just cracked the code.
I'm like 93% sure. I didn't want to.
I believe you. I believe you. We believe it. I mean, she would say that. Their rapport is like, he said that she was sensual.
Yeah, it's getting there. You know what? With that, I feel like there's no more news we can say about this episode, but there are news that we can say about AfterBuzz in general. So, Amir and Nate, take us away with AfterBuzz TV news.
Yes, Nate. Tell us about Watch What Happens Live, and then I'll tell you.
So we got a little bit of news. We've been talking about this whole Adam and Jenna situation. So Adam was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, but he also was on there with Captain Glenn. Okay, but they were talking about his relationship, and he started talking about why he was acting the way he was acting just throughout the season, with just his rudeness and just his snappiness. And he said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, it was pretty clear that he had an attitude while working because it was a stressful charter all season long, mixed with having a girlfriend that he was very clear on that he didn't want from the beginning. but also, he started thinking about work.
It's so awful.
And so he admitted.
Awful. Oh my god.
So he admitted that he actually didn't handle any of the situation correctly. So again, he's owning up to where he went wrong, but it was difficult. But then he goes on to say he wishes to take everything back to what he said to Jenna that one night in the cabin. He doesn't like cussing at her, but again, he says they're good about everything, but now they're just trying to focus on not doing things in front of the crew. So I don't know what's next for these two. Adam keeps owning up to his mistakes, but it's starting to get to a point where I'm like, I don't know. Are you just going to do toxic things and then just always apologize after?
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I mean, is a tree toxic if no one hears it?
You're telling me that is very accurate.
Whatever.
And just crazy. And then Akil, I don't know if you saw this, Watch What Happens Live, but literally Chef Adam was sitting in the bayou. Like he was in the Everglades or something. It was bizarre. I was like, where is he? Where he was reporting live from the Everglades. That was bizarre.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes.
But we're here for Adam's, he came into the season being like, I'm a renewed man. And he is the same trash box from the last season.
There it is.
So,
not a trash box.
Sorry, Adam, your cooking is good, and that's about it. So
Right.
and listen, I've talked to enough people from the cast, and a lot of them agree. I'm not going to say any names, but you can go to my Instagram and see it. But there's a lot of lives that I've done, and everyone says the same thing. Adam can cook, period. So
I'm gonna go against Amir just because I want to be petty. Adam, I'm on your side. We can go team Adam, and you're forced to be team Jenna now. You're forced. You're forced.
Listen, you know what my history is with Jenna. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into it. So
I'll be Madison on the side, just rolling my eyes.
Yes.
So depressed.
Oh my God, it's so good. That girl is so overworked. When I talked to her on IG Live, actually, she dropped a lot of great nuggets. The first one about Adam. So she said when they wrapped on the last day of filming, everyone was saying goodbye. And then Adam came in and said, I apologize. And Madison said, like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm paid to bully you. Like, that's what I'm paid to do. And she was like, deuces. Like, I'm not saying bye to you now. Like, bye.
What?
Isn't that intense? That was like a good nugget. I'm paid to be a bully.
You heard it here
full circle with
first.
what you just said, that he's going to be toxic and then apologize for it? This is like...
Yep, it's very full circle because that's what he does. He if he's paid to be the villain, if he's paid to be the bully, then he says it and then gets the apology and then looks like, oh, I'm so reformed. So that's a pile of BS. And then she was also offered to Watch What Happens Live, but with Jenna. And she said, no, I ain't doing this. I'm not doing Watch What Happens Live with Jenna.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Stand up. Listen, I'm not into it.
Yes.
Into it. If
she
it's
stood
not
up for what she believed.
F you. That's it.
Yes. And you know what my response was? I was like, you can put me on Watch What Happens Live with the devil himself and I will show up. So that's just me. That's just me. But that Madison has some more value, so I'm here for it.
Yes.
That's all the news we've got. Yeah, she knows her worth. Yes, Nate, she does.
I'm here for it. Absolutely. I mean, well, that was the news, and I mean, that was very juicy. Very juicy. How about with that, we move into our next segment, which is Above Deck. I don't want you guys to take away. I'll follow your lead because y'all have been killing it over the last few weeks with Above Deck, and I'm going to just come and trail on after y'all.
Yes. So if you don't know about our segment Above Deck, it's basically kind of giving the person in the episode that you thought had the most glow up. They really kind of showed up and they showed out. So I think for me, I'll start it off. I think Chris, listen, he hurt his back twice and his hamstring and God knows what else is going on. And that man went up that pole like ain't nobody's business. I can barely get out of bed, guys. So this man went up that pole. So I am giving it to Chris Miller, the new castmate. I'm here for his positive, bubbly attitude. He doesn't seem jaded. He seems ready to work, and I'm kind of here for it.
That's great.
Nate, what about you?
That was a great one. I love Chris. But, since last week I went with Georgia, I got to go with my baby Madison. Madison is above deck this week. For one, because she's been calling me out for being mean. So I almost threw her under the deck because she won't tell me why I'm being mean to her and how we're talking S about her. We're not talking about you, baby. We're talking about you. We're talking good about you. But
we love you. So I don't know.
No, seriously though, I was really, really happy that when Captain Glenn was asking her about Jenna and the way Jenna has been moving or acting or whatnot, that she like literally stood up when she was like, we don't need to start any more drama. Like she had every opportunity to throw her way under the bus and just really turn on her like how Jenna has been turning on her behind her back, but she didn't. She was like, let's just stay drama free. So I'm really proud of her about that. And then Georgia, like how Georgia kind of turned on Madison at the end and tried to kind of blame
always does
Madison
in her own way. Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe that. I don't know why, but again, even then, Madison had the opportunity to be like, Georgia, what are you talking about? This is Jenna. It's all her fault, but she didn't. She just stayed quiet. She stayed in her peaceful. So, Madison, I love you. You're above deck this week.
Oh, love it, love it. Well, I'm gonna name. I gotta name the guest Carrie. I feel like she is the epitome of above deck. Like, first of all, when they were all jumping and diving into the water, I was, holding my breath because it seemed super scary. But Carrie was just on it. Literally, she's like, I'm living my life. I'm here on vacation. I'm gonna enjoy myself. And it's great because the friends made it about her, but at the same time, it wasn't about her. It was kind of like a community situation. So I liked how it was obviously a trip for her, but she was so ready and willing to just engage everyone. Like the PJ competition with the gang, like that was amazing. And just, being such great spirits and just her itself, just like her light, it seemed like that was the reason why this boat went it went fairly smoothly. And that's the reason why, Adam and Jenna felt like, I could snooze off because Carrie's got it under control. And so I think it's been amazing. So just to see Carrie and having that experience on the yacht, I'm sure was great for everyone.
I loved her. She was very sweet, very, very sweet.
Super sweet.
You're right. Madison is not above deck. It's for sure Carrie. I wasn't thinking about the guest. I wasn't thinking about the guest.
Yes,
Madison's gonna come for you, Nate. Like you just fixed it, but
it is what it is. But I mean, we can't leave you guys without having some predictions for next week. That's the last charter, honey, and it seems like I don't know what's about to happen. Like, you guys, take it away. What do you think? What do you predict for this next and final charter?
It's finally the cocaine time. Me and Nate have been waiting with bated breath for the cocaine, and I knew that it wasn't one of I knew that the people that work on the boat are not dumb enough to do this. So, but I think that like, we also have to just side note, when I spoke to Byron, the engineer, he was like, this is very common on boats to have drugs and, the guests do drugs. It's just a matter of like looking away. Sometimes they'll offer you money to sleep with them. Like a lot of weird stuff happens. So I think the way that they're treating this is definitely, how they should treat like a cocaine thing. But I also think it happens a lot more often. I mean, rich people and cocaine goes pretty well together. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think that like this charter is definitely going to bring everyone closer together or tear everybody apart, because it seems super high intensity and these guys seem a little all over the place. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think obviously we see that Jenna is going to have a conversation with Glenn. I don't know why, and I don't know what gave her that gusto. I'm here for it on the same side. It's like, deny until you're until the handcuffs are on your arm. But at the same time, Jenna, I feel like, if Glenn didn't call you to have more conversations about it, this was kind of your warning, get off of the warning situation. So I think she's gonna turn up, and for what reason, we don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you, Akila. Again, I'm excited to see this cocaine situation, but I'm so excited to see this Jenna and Captain Glenn conversation. We didn't talk about Jenna and how she can't accept responsibility enough this episode, but she can't accept the responsibility, and I'm glad that she finally got called out, because again, I've been talking about leadership all season, and the leadership has been terrible. So if the service has gone down, it's your fault. It's not your employee's fault. It's your fault. So I can't wait to Captain Glenn. I hope and I predict that he's going to tell her about herself, and that she gets really sad, and then she gets back to work and stop hanging out with Adam. Team Adam.
Get back to work.
Yeah, take her down a peg. Jenna needs to be taken down a peg. She's like, oh, I can't believe the service isn't good. And it's like, clearly you guys took a 30-minute nap during the day. If Madison took a nap, can you imagine if Madison took a nap during the day?
No.
Jenna would definitely
will be sailing home, right?
Oh
my gosh.
Wait. Didn't Jenna get mad at Madison earlier this season about not getting enough sleep?
Yep.
Yeah.
So So now, when you didn't get enough sleep because you were having whatever you're doing in the master bedroom and arguing with Adam all night, and then now you need to take a nap in the middle of the day to get your energy.
Oh,
yes. Take it away, Nate. Take it away.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Anyways, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Royal Nate _. Don't forget the underscore. Thank you. Love you
Yes,
guys.
and be sure to hit up your best friend at Akila Friend. That's AKILAHFFRIEND. So 2 F's. Because I got a lot of F's to give.
Yes, Akila. We're so happy to have you back. We miss you so much. And you can find me at Amir Yas _ Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I post a lot of below deck TikToks that are super fun. And I'm also going live on AfterBuzz TV tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time with Captain Glenn. So come to the AfterBuzz TV Instagram. We can ask him all the questions you have, and he'll be, live from Mallorca. So he'll be live from Spain.
Very tropical. I'm here for it.
It'll be very
amazing.
fun.
So be sure to check that out in the morning. And, until next time, we loved talking about this. Buzz you later.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.